In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your ignition starter switch on this Dodge Ram 2500. It's located on your steering column. We'll have to take that apart a little bit to get access to it, so let's get started. Starting from the bottom of this knee panel here, let's remove the two 7mm screws that hold it on. You can also use a Phillips head screwdriver if you don't have a 7mm socket. There we go. Now you should be able to pull this away on the bottom. Let's remove this panel now. Just pull on it. And there it is. Now use a T20 Driver. So this is basically what you'll need because it has to go in through the bottom of the steering column here. This bolt is accessible with a regular socket, but the other ones are not. There's also one on the lever that adjusts the steering wheel tilt. We'll have to remove this so we can remove the lever. And now we should be able to pull down on this lower steering column cover, separate it from the upper. There we go. Now we'll have to unplug the white connector off of the clock spring. Do not unplug the yellow connector. That is for airbags. This is just for your horn and steering wheel buttons. Doing this allows you to access this T25 screw that holds on this metal plate here that we have to remove to gain access to the bolts or screws that hold on our ignition switch. Remove that. There's another one right over here, a little bit more difficult to see. Okay. Unplug the connector over here for our ignition starter switch, and then with a T20 socket or this driver that you used earlier, remove the two screws that hold it on. And now there's a tab here that you have to pry down. Prying this will allow you to remove your switch. There it is. Now the new switch, you're going to have to make sure you spin it slightly clockwise. If it's all the way counterclockwise, which would be the off position on your key, you'll have to stick a flathead screwdriver in it and gently pop it out of that position. You don't want to go all the way to the accessory position. This next one would be on and then start, but you also don't want to be all the way in the off position. So basically right in the middle here, line it up with exactly where the old one was, which if you look at it, you can reference them, make sure they're exactly the same so that when you stick it in, it actually lines up. So, having said that, take your new switch, line it up here. Might have to pry on this tab. If it doesn't line up and goes in, then it's not spun properly, so take it back out and adjust it. That's it. Mine's all the way in, so I'm going to plug it in. Let's put in the two screws that hold it on. These screws are going to have to cut their own threads into the new switch. Might be a little tough to thread them on, but because this doesn't move, I'm actually just going to tighten this one all the way. There's no adjustment to this. Now, let's reattach the steering wheel tilt lever. There we go. And then spin it up. Put it in position. You're going to have to hold it. The screw that went on the back side is longer. This front one is shorter, so keep that in mind. If you actually get them backwards by accident, you just won't be able to tighten this front one, so that's how you'll know. Just make it snug, about 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out at most, and then put in the front one. Same for this. Once that's done, plug your connector in for the clock spring. Make sure that clicks, and let's put this cover back on. Slide this cover in position, and make sure you connect it onto this top cover on both sides. On the other side, there's the shifter boot that has to line up as well. Let's reinstall the screws that hold on the two covers. And then don't forget about your adjuster lever. There we go. Make sure that functions. And now let's put this cover back on. Line all the push clips up, press it into position, and put in the bolt underneath. There we go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.